And it's day 4 of a hearing in the case against accused killer Luigi Mangione. His defense is attempting to get key evidence removed before trial. Our NTD reporter Arlene Richards was in the courtroom listening to another day of testimony, and we have her here with us now. Arlene, good to see you. Who did the prosecution call to testify this morning?
Well, good afternoon, Stephania. So the prosecution called 2 witnesses. One was the first assistant district attorney, Nicole Smith, and the other one was police officer Christy Wasser. And both of them are from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Both of them testified about the search that was conducted at the McDonald's where Luigi Mangione was ultimately arrested. And as you know, the defense is saying that that search was conducted unlawfully, and they're attempting to have some of the key evidence removed before the trial.
And how did their testimonies help the prosecution?
So Nicole Smith, who is the first assistant district attorney, she testified that she was contacted by one of the lead officers who was on the scene at the McDonald's, and he was asking her about what charges he could charge. She said he was calling her to get her approval for this. And this is something that they commonly do, but she said they normally don't do it for charges like forgery and tampering with a license, which is what he was charged with. But this time they contacted her because they knew that this person might be the person that New York police would be looking for, and that they would probably ultimately have to turn over evidence to the New York police. So they wanted to make sure. She then went on to describe the differences between the types of evidence they found in his backpack. And one of them, she said, was called contraband, and the other one is inventory. And she made this distinction because some of that evidence was taken by the Pennsylvania police and kept, and other evidence was returned to the bag and went with Luigi Mangione to the correctional facility that he ultimately ended up at. So the contraband, which is things like the gun and the ammunition, can be taken over by the police. And the other items, such as his clothes, his food, the handwritten notes that are being talked about, those things went back into the bag. Later on, she says that they got 2 different search warrants. One search warrant was for the gun and the ammunition and other things like that that they wanted to keep. The second search warrant was so that they could turn the evidence over to the New York police, which they knew that that would be coming up. And then the Officer Wasser, she testified that the search was conducted incident to the arrest. Now, she was the officer who actually searched the backpack. And she said that, you know, the Mangione was taken under arrest first. He was handcuffed and he was told what the charges are before she touched the bag and actually opened it and began to search for the items. And then she also talked about the different items that she found, and that she was concerned at some point that there might be a bomb in the bag, because they actually asked Mangione whether there was anything in there that they should know about. And his answer was, I choose not to talk. So that, she said, raised her suspicion that there might be a bomb in the bag. Back to you, Steph.
Okay, so Arlene, will there be any more witnesses coming to the stand today?
Well, as I left the courtroom, Officer Wasser was still on the stand. I'm assuming that she was cross-examined by the defense, which they could do. And then I think this afternoon or later today, they're probably going to call more officers that were there on the scene, or they will call the actual district attorney of Blair County in Altoona, Pennsylvania, who also was involved in giving the approval for the charges. Now, there were ultimately around 8 officers who came to that McDonald's that day, and I think we've already had about 4 officers on the stand, so I'm expecting them to go through the other officers and get their testimony about what occurred that day, and also about the Pennsylvania law on search and seizure. Steph.
All right. Thanks for your report, Arlene.